Imagine a world where artificial intelligence doesn't just assist you, it acts for you, making decisions, managing tasks, solving problems autonomously.
These aren't just chatbots, they're ChatGPT agents, smart evolving systems that learn, plan, and execute real-world actions, all without constant human input.
From streamlining workflows to handling complex decisions, this isn't automation, it's delegation to digital minds. So the question is, are you ready to let AI take the wheel?
Imagine an AI that doesn't just answer your questions, but actively does things for you, like planning your entire anniversary trip, researching your next big meeting, or even doing your grocery shopping.
Okay, let's unpack that. We're diving into a really fascinating evolution in AI today, the rise of these things called AI agents. You've sent over a whole stack of interesting articles, research, your own notes too. And, well, our mission here is to really distill what these new autonomous AI systems are all about. You know, what can they actually do? And maybe, more importantly, what are the limitations? What are the implications for you?
Yeah, and what's really key here, I think, is that we're moving past the simple chatbots we've gotten used to. We're talking about systems that can, perceive their environment, make pretty complex decisions, and then actually take action on your behalf. They can navigate these really complicated multi-step tasks without you having to constantly prompt them. A huge shift, really.
Okay, so let's clarify that. For our audience who mostly follow this stuff pretty closely, how exactly is an AI agent different from, say, ChatGPT just generating text? What makes it an agent?
Right, good question. So you know ChatGPT, it responds to what you ask. An AI agent, though, it's about, well, genuine autonomy. At its core, an AI agent is basically an autonomous system built to achieve specific goals. So unlike those chatbots, these agents are capable of planning, reasoning, and actually executing tasks through multiple steps. Think of them less like a Q&A machine and more like an AI butler, maybe. They figure out the how on their own. You just describe the end result you want, not every single step.
Right. Okay. And this is where it gets really interesting, potentially quite complex. You shared examples of the new ChatGPT agent from OpenAI. It seems like it can combine capabilities we've seen before in separate tools, right? Like maybe something that browses websites, often called Operator, kind of merged with another tool that synthesizes info. Maybe like deep research, but all inside ChatGPT.
Exactly. It essentially operates its own little virtual computer to get things done.
So give us an example like the travel one you mentioned.
Yeah, okay. Imagine asking it something like, plan a 5-day anniversary trip to Napa Valley for 2 people in October. Budget's around $3,000. Find and compare round-trip flights, say United or Delta, from JFK to SFO. Research 3 boutique hotels, need availability, great reviews, and ideally a pool. Then, create a day-by-day plan. 2 wine tastings, 1 famous, 1 hidden gem, a nice dinner at a Michelin-starred place, maybe a scenic hike. And finally, put all the options and the budget breakdown nice and neat in a spreadsheet.
Wow.
And it's not just theory. The agent would then actually go browse airline sites, hotel sites, check real-time data, read reviews, and then compile all of that into an actionable spreadsheet. You didn't do the legwork. The agent managed the whole process based on your goal.
Okay, I have to admit, as someone who kind of dreads planning trips, that sounds almost dangerously appealing. And you mentioned other uses like data gathering.
For sure. Another example you shared was asking it to write a report on EV adoption in the US. Go look at government sources like the Department of Energy, the EPA. Get the latest state-by-state sales data for the last 5 years. Also, research and summarize the main federal and state incentives for buying EVs. Then put the sales data into a CSV file and write up a summary report in a Word doc.
And it just does that. The sources, pulls the data, summarizes the text.
That's the idea. It identifies the right sources, extracts that structured data, and then synthesizes the qualitative stuff into a document.
Okay, and for professionals, I saw something about meeting prep.
Yeah, that's another powerful one. Imagine connecting it to your calendar. You could say, look at my calendar for tomorrow. See that meeting with Acme Corp. Research their latest news. Check their stock performance. Find the LinkedIn profiles of the people attending. Then create a one-page briefing doc summarizing all that, maybe highlighting recent company news or challenges.
Okay, so that involves accessing personal data, like my calendar, doing deep web research, pulling it all together concisely. That's quite a leap.
It really is. The ability to navigate websites, log in securely, potentially run bits of code, compile research into usable formats like spreadsheets or slides. Powerful stuff.
You even mentioned it automating routine tasks, like email reports or spreadsheet stuff using, what was it, Google Apps Script.
Yeah, exactly. That lets it basically control actions within Google Apps programmatically, sending reports, updating spreadsheets, things like that.
So this isn't just a small step up. You're saying this is really a leap towards what people are calling the agentic AI future.
I think so, yes. It feels like more than just an incremental improvement. These autonomous agents they're already starting to change how work gets done.
And what does that mean for, say, the market? And for you listening, is this just efficiency or something bigger?
Well, think about the scale. The global AI agent market is projected to just explode, right? About $5 billion this year, 2024, to potentially over $216 billion by 2035. That's a huge jump.
Wow. And businesses are noticing.
Definitely. Something like 3 out of 4 retail decision makers think these agents will be essential just to compete by 2026. And nearly half are apparently already running pilots with autonomous AI.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, I think you mentioned Gartner.
Right. Gartner predicts that by 2029, so not that far off, AI agents could be resolving something like 80% of common customer service issues without any human involved.
80%. Just think about the ripple effect of that. That's not just faster service calls. It fundamentally changes the human role, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It could lead to totally new kinds of interactions, maybe even new business models we haven't thought of yet.
And it's important to stress, this isn't just OpenAI, is it? Other big players are jumping in?
Oh, absolutely. You see Amazon testing a Buy For Me feature, letting its app buy from other websites for you.
Okay.
Google's bringing in agent mode to Gemini. It can do things like find apartments based on your criteria, maybe even schedule viewings. And their deep research tool generates detailed reports.
Then you have MasterCard working on Agent Pay for shopping, suggesting outfits, making purchases based on your style, event details.
And Visa too has its intelligent commerce platform aiming for agentic transactions pretty soon. Maybe end of summer.
So for you, the listener, this could mean, well, unprecedented convenience, personalization, especially in shopping. And for businesses, particularly small ones. AI and e-commerce could democratize tools, help optimize inventory, make supply chains stronger, even improve how we find products, like uploading a picture to find similar items.
It's a massive potential shift across the board.
But with all this power comes responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Even Sam Altman at OpenAI urged caution. He called the ChatGPT agent cutting edge and experimental. and specifically warned users, not something I'd yet use for high-stakes uses, or with a lot of personal information. That sounds like a pretty significant caveat.
It is, and it brings us squarely to the risks. What could go wrong here? There was a survey of IT pros, and their concerns are pretty stark. Something like 72% think AI agents pose a greater security risk than traditional machine identities.
Greater? Why?
Well, think about what they can do. Accessing privileged data, that's sensitive stuff, financials, customer details, that worries 60% of them. Performing unintended actions, that's 58%. Sharing privileged data when they shouldn't, 57%. Making decisions based on bad or inaccurate data, 55%. Or even just sharing inappropriate information, 54%. As one expert put it, you've got this combination of high privilege and low visibility, and that just makes them a prime target for attackers.
And the kind of data they touch, customer data, financial details, intellectual property, legal documents, it's highly sensitive.
Exactly, which is why a huge majority, 92% of those surveyed, agree that properly governing these AI agents is absolutely critical for enterprise security. It's not just tech, it's governance.
So there needs to be oversight, humans in the loop.
Absolutely essential.
Right.
While they offer autonomy, human oversight is key to prevent things going off the rails. OpenAI's agent, for instance, does ask for permission before it acts. And importantly, you can interrupt it. You can take over the browser yourself, or just stop the task anytime.
Okay, that's reassuring. But OpenAI also admits its own current limitations, right?
They do. Like generating slideshows is still a bit rough. Formatting issues, complex tasks with many steps. They can still make mistakes sometimes. The agent can be slow. Sometimes it might refuse a perfectly valid task, or only get partway through if it hits a website. Layout it doesn't understand.
And we should also remember, these really advanced agent features, they're usually behind a paywall, and availability might still be rolling out regionally.
That's right. And even with the human oversight controls, there's this fundamental trust issue. You mentioned a survey, 76% of shoppers saying no to AI shopping assistants. That's a huge number.
Yeah, why? What was the main reason?
Primarily trust. People want to know exactly what they're buying, the right size, the right color, the specific brand. Trusting an AI to make those precise choices autonomously, that's a big hurdle for a lot of people, at least right now.
It really highlights that old IBM motto, doesn't it? Machines should work and humans should think.
Precisely. Our role seems to be shifting, maybe less direct doing, more strategic oversight, guiding these agents. We might even see new jobs pop up,
Oh.
Like AI task curators or prompt supervisors. People focus specifically on managing these AI workflows.
So looking ahead then, with all these capabilities and these pretty serious considerations, what's next? How are these agents likely to evolve?
Well, OpenAI definitely has a roadmap. They're focused on making them more efficient, more accurate, needing less direct oversight, but critically while keeping safety paramount. Some key things they're planning include persistent memory.
Persistent memory. What's that?
Basically, the ability for the agent to remember your preferences over time, your writing style, data sources you trust, things like that, across different tasks. It makes them potentially much more efficient and personalized.
Okay, that makes sense. What else are...
More connectors and APIs. So integrating with more applications, things, Slack, Trello, Notion, Jira, maybe even internal business tools. That opens up a whole ecosystem, right? You could delegate work directly from ChatGPT into those other tools.
That really does sound transformative, almost like a personalized operating system for your digital life.
You could sort of see it that way, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And other companies, like Google, are already pushing agent features directly into their main app, so it's becoming more seamless.
And one more thing you mentioned, hybrid models.
Right? Hybrid workflows. The idea is to combine the sort of flexible conversational ability of current chatbots with the autonomous execution power of these agents. So you get the best of both worlds, potentially. Quick brainstorming and idea generation, followed by precise, controlled execution of the task.
Okay, so wrapping this up, this deep dive has shown us, well, a frontier that's evolving incredibly quickly, amazing potential for efficiency, personalization, but also demands really careful thought about security, ethics, and that fundamental issue of trust.
Absolutely. That balance, between how much autonomy we give the AI and how much human oversight we maintain.
Yeah!
That's going to be crucial. It'll define how successfully, and frankly, how ethically these powerful tools get integrated into our lives.
So as these AI agents get better and start doing more for us, planning trips, analyzing data, maybe even eventually doing our shopping, here's something for you to think about. How much of your own personal agency, your own decision-making, are you actually willing to hand over to an AI just for convenience? And maybe more profoundly, what could that mean for your own critical thinking skills down the road?